Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie, host and head bookologist here at the Get Literate podcast. I'm a book loving, notebook hoarding reader and writer on a mission to change lives one book and one notebook at a time. On this podcast, we explore the power of books and reading and notebooks and writing to make life better and to feel better too. You'll find episodes exploring the reading and writing life and how it can make our actual lives better. You'll get book recommendations and notebook invitations around particular themes, and you'll meet authors and special guests who'll help us take inspired action in our own daily practices. So, grab a notebook and your TBR list, and let's get literate. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Get Literate podcast. I'm Stephanie Affinito, your host, and I believe that reading and writing are the underdogs of the wellness space. Here on this podcast, we talk about how reading and writing can make life better. And so I want to start out with a question I bet you have never been asked before. Ready? What's inside your pencil pouch? And could it actually be the secret to changing your life through restorative reading? I told you, you have never been asked that question before. We are going to talk all about pencil pouches today. You know, those nostalgic little cloth bags or plastic tubs with that little closure that you put stickers on as a kid. Something that holds your pencils along with some other bling. Right now, you may have a pencil pouch that immediately comes to mind from your childhood. Maybe you have a pencil pouch that you are using right now that comes to mind, or maybe you don't have one and haven't tried one, but you are intrigued enough to keep listening about how a pencil pouch could actually change your life through a restorative reading practice. Now, I have always been addicted to pencil pouches. Like, I have just always been addicted to containers, to baskets, to bins, to bags, to purses, to pencil pouches, to the clear plastic containers that my sheets come in that I would always save. It doesn't matter what it is. I love a good container. But typically, my containers are always functional. I am that minimalistic girl who likes her bookish things, but who never really indulged in the things that I really, really wanted. I've told the story before, I don't think on my podcast, but in my restorative reading course, that I remember one distinct day sitting in one of my college classes in upstate New York, studying to become a teacher and getting out my stuff, right? I had my 3 subject notebook, I had my pencil, I probably had a highlighter, just the basic essentials that I would need to take notes for the class so I could study later. And I remember looking over to the row of desks next to me. Right next to me, but up one seat, was this other girl, this other student who was doing the same thing. She was taking her stuff out of her bag and arranging it on her desk. But the stuff she was taking out was quite unlike the stuff that I had. She took out a folder, like this laminated folder. I remember it vividly. She took out a planner that had a beautiful quote and the year, the academic year on the top. She took out a matching pencil pouch. And as she unzipped the pencil pouch and took some things out, she took out a pencil, not just an ordinary pencil, it was a decorated pencil. She took out a fancy looking pen, a highlighter, and one of those old-fashioned big pink rectangle erasers that you used to get at school, and she put it there. She also had a water bottle that pretty much matched the whole shebang. And I remember sitting there, probably staring too closely with my jaw dropping more and more and more as she was just taking all of this stuff out. And I will be honest with you, my initial reaction was, what the heck is she doing? Why does she need all that stuff? That's ridiculous. You don't need to spend money on that stuff. Oh my gosh, the amount of time that it must have taken her to pick that out and put everything just so. Like, she should be spending her time doing something more productive. This version of me has been ingrained in me for a long time. But of course, when I look back on the experience, and really not too far after the experience, I realized it wasn't frustration or misunderstanding or confusion about what she was doing. It was jealousy. It was jealousy. It was envy. It was, oh my gosh, she felt that she deserved that beautiful stuff. Oh my goodness, she spent her hard-earned money on that stuff because she thought she deserved it. Oh my gosh, maybe having things that look beautiful and match and look like you're special actually matters. I told you. Question you've have ever heard on the podcast today, and now maybe a story you've never heard from me about the green envy that I had inside my soul for other people's stationery. But I realized in that experience, although I didn't allow myself to act on it until much later, was that that stuff matters, right? In the end, the stuff really doesn't matter, right? You just need one book and one notebook and one pencil, and you can get the job done and you can benefit from reading and writing. But when you surround yourself with materials that make you happy, when you allow yourself the time to pick them out, when you allow yourself to spend perhaps just a little bit of extra money on the things that are going to light you up when you see them, that matters. It sends a signal to you, it sends a signal to your nervous system, and it also sends a signal to your reading and writing life that this is a big deal. And this is time for us, and this is sacred space, and this matters. And we're going to make the most of it because we deserve this time. So, your pencil pouch, literally your pencil pouch, can send a message to your mind, your body, and your heart that you matter. In this self-care time for reading and writing, that matters too, right? A pencil pouch is a thing, yes, but it's also a metaphor, right? It is something that carries tools, and those tools offer you self-care. Those are tools to new learning. Those are tools to really indulge your curiosity. And there's tools in there, as long as I have my way by the end of this episode, to spark your creativity too. So, yes, a pencil pouch is a thing, but it is a metaphor for self care. And the reason it is so important to a restorative reading and writing life is that reading and writing are not passive activities, right? You've heard me talk in the podcast before. We need to have an open mind. We need to have an open heart. We have to do the reading and the thinking and do the writing and the learning and then take all of that inspired action that comes as a result. Restorative reading and writing is not passive, it's interactive. It's active. And that pencil pouch with all of those beautiful tools that you deserve that will spark self-care and curiosity and creativity, it signals that it is time to begin. It signals that you are ready to approach this wellness practice with gusto, right? Plus, the ritual of opening the pouch right before you read or right before you write to get out those lovely materials, those extra blingy sticky notes, maybe the little teeny tiny tea light candle that's in there so that you can light it. It is preparing your mind, your body, your soul, and your nervous system to enter a restorative space. So, yes, your pencil pouch could be the thing that changes your life through reading and writing because you're gifting yourself the time, the attention, and the allowance, the permission to do this work and signal that I am ready to take action. So, if you are ready to take action, let's talk about what belongs in your restorative pencil pouch. Okay, so just take a minute, 30 seconds, and think what is currently in your pencil pouch if you have one. Or if you don't have a pencil pouch yet and now you want one, what would you put in it? I want to talk about three kinds of things that I think need to be in your restorative pencil pouch. You need to have some essentials for reading with an open mind and an open heart. You need to have some tools for restorative writing. And you need some comfort and ritual items. Those things that I was making fun of before are actually essential and just layer a little bit of indulgence and comfort into our routines, which make them even better forms of self-care. So let's talk about the essentials for restorative reading with an open mind and an open heart. Well, we need a couple of things. One is we need something to write with, right? Because if we are taking notice of the whispers and the nudges, we have to have a space to do that. So you need to have a favorite pen, a favorite pencil, a favorite gel pen, the mechanical pencil you can't live without, like me, right? I want you to have some sort of writing utensil that just makes you feel good when you look at it. I also want you to tuck in that nudge notebook that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, that little notebook that is especially designed to pay attention to the whispers and the nudges and the quotes and the thoughts that you have as you're reading a book as signals of things you need to pay attention to and perhaps act on later. You know, I want you to have some sticky notes. You know, I want you to have some sticky flags. You know, I want some book darts in there. And maybe you even have a highlighter or two to mark on the page. I want you to throw in a lovely bookmark, right? Anything works at a bookmark. I have used the clothing tags that have fallen off in my closet and I picked up and saved. I've tucked in receipts. I've ripped off pieces of, napkin or Kleenex in the car and shoved it in the pages. All of those work, but what if you had a really beautiful notebook? Maybe one that you splurged on that was personalized. Maybe one that you bought at a craft fair that just makes you smile because someone took the time to create it. Those are the kinds of things I want you to put in your pencil pouch related to restorative reading. Now, let's talk about restorative writing. In that pencil pouch, I want you to have multiple things to write with. So maybe you take the essentials that you already put in there for your restorative reading life and you just add to it. I want you to have at least a pen or two in different colors. Maybe one's blue, maybe one's black, or maybe you allow yourself to splurge on a couple of gel pens. Maybe you allow yourself to get some really good Sharpie markers or some multiple colored highlighters. Okay, so just a couple of things that you could change up your writing because as we know, the colors we put on the page, the fonts we put on the page, they matter and send messages too. Now, you could also get out some washi tape and some stickers and some journaling squares or whatever kind of junk journaling materials you have so that you can get creative. You could tape things in your notebook and create pouches on the pages. So, whatever materials light you up creatively, that was not a word, creatively, put them in there. For me, it is washi tape. It is a bunch of stickers, and they are some just plain colored paper journal squares, I call them, to just change things up on the page. Now, the last thing you might put in your restorative writing pouch is a couple of writing prompts. Now, I don't know how you decide what to write about, but I love collecting ideas to write about for when I feel stuck. You could use those same journaling squares and just jot down a couple of ideas that you know would come in handy if you didn't know what to write about. You could actually buy some of these things, print off some printable prompts from Etsy or head on to Amazon and see what you can find, or just DIY it. But just a couple of pieces of inspiration for your writing life will do. Now let's talk about the third category, comfort and ritual items. Things that make you happy, that make you feel calm, that spark joy, that may not matter to anybody else but you. I want you to put them in there, right? So it could be some sort of little charm that you have, right? I have this little teeny tiny turtle made out of seashells that I have on my desk. That could go in my pencil pouch because it just makes me smile when I see it. You might have some sort of what do they call them? It's not a relaxing rock, but you know, those smooth rocks that you hold in your hand when you need to calm yourself down. Maybe you have a calm strip, those little strips of textured paper that anchor you in anxious moments. Maybe you toss one of those in there, right? Maybe you have something like a packet of tea tucked in there so that when you open it up, you remind yourself that you could go make a cup of tea and you could really sink in to this restorative reading time. These are comfort items that are specific to you. It could even be a photograph of someone that you love or you think about often that helps ground you. Okay, so anything goes, but I would love for you to get a couple of things for your restorative reading life, a couple of things for your restorative writing life, and a couple of ritual items. Now, you might be thinking, Stephanie, how big is this pencil pouch? And that's up to you, right? They make really small pencil pouches where it would only hold one or two or three things. And if that's all you want and need for your restorative reading and writing life, that's fine. For me, I need bigger. My pencil pouch, well, one of them that I'm currently using is a pouch that looks exactly like a library card that you used to find tucked in the back of our library cards when we borrowed them. I got it from no, Out of Print. Uncommon Goods is another store that I love, but Out of Print has really wonderful bookish things. And this one is a bit oversized. It's not too big. It still fits into, a regular size purse wherever I need to toss it. But it is a little bit bigger than normal. It is the same width, but the height is almost double. So my nudge notebook goes in there easily. All of my materials, the stickers, the different size sticky notes, my bookmark, all of that fits nicely. So it's roomy enough to not get all of my stuff squished. So you might want to take yourself on a little field trip or start browsing online. What kind of pencil pouch do you want to put all of this wonderful stuff in? Do you want one that is small and plain and unobtrusive? Do you want one that has a beautiful quote about reading and writing? Do you want one with some snarky saying about self-care? Or do you want one like me that looks like a library card? Or do you just want a nice plastic bin because you know you might not be traveling with it, and so it can just sit on your desk or on the table on the side of the couch where you often do your reading and writing? So we're going to think about what's in it, but I want you to indulge and pick the perfect pencil pouch for you so that it just makes you happy when you look at it. It makes you gravitate towards it. You want to open it and go through those things. And that is what sparks reading and writing. So that's what the pencil pouch does. How does it actually support restorative reading and writing beyond giving you the materials? It encourages active engagement with the reading and writing we do, right? If we have the materials close by, we might underline, we might take more notes, we might plop a sticky note on the page, we might open up our notebook and start making a list. If those materials aren't there and we have to get up and get them, we might not. Something else will distract us that is more productive. So having that pencil pouch around encourages active engagement during our restorative reading, which is the key to having it change your life. It also creates consistency. If that pencil pouch is out and visible, you're going to see it and it's going to remind you that you want to read and write. If it is a pouch that can travel with you, it will help you be consistent because you can read restoratively or write restoratively anywhere at any time because you have your things with you. It also fosters a beautiful ritual, right? It's just like brewing that first cup of wonderful coffee in the morning is that ritual to start taking deep breaths and wake up. Opening your pencil pouch can literally be a signal, something tactile, something you hear to slow down, to restore, to get into that calmer, reflective state. You might even throw in your pencil pouch a little teeny tiny bottle of aromatherapy. Dot a little bit on your wrists and wow, enter that restorative state. More to come on that, actually. I've really been diving into that. But lastly, a pencil pouch can deepen our restorative reading and writing because it builds your identity as a reader and writer. If you have this beautiful kit that says you read and you write and you do that as part of your ritual for self-care, you take it more seriously. If you spent money on those things, you take it more seriously. If those things look beautiful and were especially chosen for you take it more seriously. So allowing yourself this little pencil pouch actually builds your restorative reading and writing identity. So I want to end with just a couple of little tips around your pencil pouch. We've already talked about what should be in it. We already talked about what it might look like and the size it might be, but I want to leave you with this tip. Well, actually, two tips. Number one, start small. Start small. Just get a little pouch, throw a piece of or a pack of sticky notes and a pencil in there, and you've got yourself a restorative reading and writing pencil pouch. You're already begun, right? So it does not have to be this big, beautiful thing that you won't use until it's filled perfectly, right? Because it will never be filled perfectly until you use it. So start small. Number two, personalize it. As we've said, it matters allowing yourself to indulge. It doesn't mean you have to have your name embroidered on it, but personalize it so that it looks like and it feels like you. The third tip is to keep it out in your line of vision, right? Wherever you need it in order to see it daily and kickstart that restorative reading and writing practice wherever you are, put it there. For some of us, that's our kitchen counter. For others, it's the little table by our bed. For others, it's our desk. And for even others, it could just be that it needs to sit in our purse so that we see it multiple days as we dig through those things. My next tip is to refresh it seasonally. Keep switching out some of the stuff in there to keep it inspiring. Fall is coming up. Maybe you throw in some sticky notes that are these beautiful fall colors like orange and gold and maroon. Maybe you swap out the little tea light calendar so that it's orange or red. Or maybe you just allow yourself one little indulgence every new season that matches the energy of that season, and it just keeps things inspiring and keeps you coming back. And my last tip is to use your pencil pouch as a sacred way to begin. If you are not sure what to write about, if you're not sure which book to pick up, if you don't know how much time you have and if you should be doing something else, go to the pencil pouch and unzip it, open it. That's it. That one little action could be the thing that triggers the next one and the next one and the next one. Use it as a way to signal a ritual, and eventually your body, your mind, your heart will remember that ritual, and it will just lean right in to this restorative practice. So I want to end the podcast with a question, just like I started it with a question, and here it is. What is one tool that you would love to put in your restorative pencil pouch? I really want to hear them. Please reach out. Find me on social media at AfinitoLit. Head to my Substack at alitlife.substack.com and send me a message there. Find me in Gmail at stephanieaffinito@gmail.com or leave me an audio message in your favorite podcast platform. I would love to keep a big, beautiful, growing list of all of the tools that we would love to see in our own personal restorative reading and writing pencil pouches as ways to remind ourselves that we deserve this kind of well-being and self-care practice. So that is your homework. In addition to reading and writing and of course creating your pencil pouch, I do hope you'll tell me all about it, and better yet, send me a picture of it. You can find my personal pencil pouch in the show notes for this episode, and I'll probably be dropping little hints and little pictures of what's inside on my social media channels. So be sure to check those out as well. Thanks for listening, everyone. I hope this gave you something to think about today and that you're looking at your pencil pouch with renewed eyes as a tool that could be the thing that could change your life through restorative reading and writing. I'll see you in the next episode, everyone. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Get Literate podcast. You'll find links to all of the books, resources, and ideas mentioned on the episode in the show notes and at alitlife.com. And if you want more, you might like to join my Substack community. There, you'll find additional inspiration for your reading and writing life, like bonus podcast episodes, bibliotherapy book calendars, monthly book clubs, notebooking inspiration, live events, giveaways, and much more. It's only $5 a month, and you'll get instant access to all of the previous content too. You can learn more at getliterate.co. And one more thing, if you love what you listened to today, please take a moment to rate and review the podcast, or take a screenshot of the episode and text it to a bookish friend. This helps the podcast grow and builds our bookish and no bookish communities too. Thanks for listening.